Ah, Roboute, it's a pleasure to see you again. How can I help you today? Well, Doctor, please, it's Wizard. My title is Wizard. Oh, my apologies. Well, Wizard, I just feel such tremendous regret and guilt all the time. Yes. Please go on. I just can't stop thinking that things would be better in the galaxy if I had made different choices. If I had gone to Terra with Sanguinius at the end of the heresy, instead of staying with Lion to distract the traitor fleet in the aftermath of Davin. I can't help but think that my father would never have been interred on his living tomb. Or if I had not chosen to face Fulgrim alone at the Battle of Thalassia, I wouldn't have been put into stasis for millennia. And I could have prevented the Imperium from becoming the decaying, superstitious, and ignorant husk that it is now. The Imperium has turned into everything that my father stood against. But if I had done things differently, well, maybe... Well, there's the problem. You see, Gilly, is it okay if I call you Gilly? Well, I would prefer the Lord Commander of the Imperium of Man. Gilly, your problem is that you are stuck in the clutches of what I call the multiverse fallacy, a cognitive distortion, or a thinking error. Have you heard of this before? Well, I am familiar with all manner of cognitive errors, but no, I haven't heard of that one before. Well, the multiverse fallacy is what happens when your mind tells you that your life would be better if you had made a different choice in the past. Or put another way, it is when your mind tries to look into an alternate reality where you did things differently, and it assumes that this alternate reality is better. But here's the problem. It is impossible to look into the multiverse to see an alternate reality. Unless, of course, you are engaging in some warp shenanigans, which would certainly be heretical. And you're not a heretic, are you? Absolutely not. I serve the Emperor loyally and reject heresy in all its forms. Right. So that means you can't possibly know what your life would be like in an alternate universe. So assuming that things would be better in that universe is nonsensical. It is a fallacy. And sure, we can guess, if I hadn't done this, perhaps that wouldn't have happened. But guesses are not truth. Even the worst decisions may have spared us from darker fates we'll never see. Indeed, for all you know, the alternate realities you speculate about might have turned out far worse than your current reality. You have no idea what would have happened if you had gone to Terra with Sanguinius. Perhaps Horus might have succeeded in that timeline. Likewise, if you hadn't faced Fulgrim alone, perhaps he would have killed you outright before you were put into stasis. You can never know for sure. For in every alternate reality, anything is possible. But here's the most important truth. This reality, your reality, is the only one you can shape. And dwelling upon what-if questions only serves one purpose: to make you suffer. It doesn't change anything other than it makes you miserable. But Wizard. It sounds like you're saying we shouldn't reflect on our choices. But how can we learn if we don't analyze our mistakes? You make an important point, and you are correct. It can be very helpful to reflect on the mistakes of the past so we don't repeat them. However, there is a fine line between reflection and rumination. Rumination is when we replay our mistakes over and over again in our mind without actually accomplishing anything productive. Rumination causes suffering without growth. In contrast, reflection does not linger on the pain of our mistakes. It simply acknowledges the mistake, then focuses on moving forward. Furthermore, when we reflect, we must also be honest with ourselves about what was truly a mistake versus what was a reasonable course of action at the time. Indeed, Having the benefit of hindsight might make a past action look like a mistake. But in that moment, it might have been a perfectly reasonable choice to make, given the information we had then. So, Gilly, while your guilt and regret are certainly understandable, it seems as though they are not logical. What do you think about all this? You know, you're right. My regrets are based on unfounded assumptions. I have no idea if things would have been better or even worse had I acted differently. Perhaps I've been dwelling on the past too much, and perhaps I've been too hard on myself. After all, the cause of all this was my brother Horus and his heresy, not me. But hey, who knows? With your logic, perhaps the Imperium would be even worse off if Horus had not betrayed my father. Right? Because of your multiverse fallacy? Gilly, heresy is not funny. In the name of the Inquisition, please get out of my office. If this message of arcane wisdom has stirred your spirit, I beseech thee, strike the like button as though it were a goblin's skull, and consider subscribing to this channel so that our paths may cross again.